Hi everybody. So today you're going to be coloring in your circular symmetrical design, and we're going to be doing it together with these colors of colored pencils, which are analogous colors. As you can see, I put the color wheel out for you. Analogous colors are colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. And by using those, it is calming because they relate to one another. So you're going to begin by getting a yellow green, a blue green, a blue violet, and lastly a red violet, which is like a hot pink. So those are the colors, and they're all near each other on this side. Okay, so we're going to begin, and I'm going to be also showing you some gradients. If you recall what a gradient is, it's when you take a color and you go from dark to light, and you do it by taking your color and using it in its full amount and then releasing and going lighter. So for example, I'm going to use this purple, or it's a bluish purple. I'm going to start dark, as dark as I can, and then release pressure and go lighter and lighter and lighter. And you're going to see how it goes almost to zero eventually. And you want that to be a smooth gradient, which means it goes from 100% to 90 to 80 to 70, all the way down to zero. Okay? All right, so now let's begin. You're going to take a look at this and decide where are these colors going to go. And you spend time actually thinking about that. You want to visualize it different ways. So when I look at this design, I see a focal point that I love would be the center area that I'd really like to pop out and stand out. This part here that looks a lot like a flower, and this reminds me of leaves, I think I will use in colors that are representative of that. So I'm going to start by going from dark to light, dark to light, dark to light. Now this is hard for you to see because it's yellow, but I'm actually coloring in a gradient. So the center is darker and then it gets lighter as I go forward. Dark to light. Then on this part here, where it looks almost like a mushroom shape, I'm going to go dark to light, same thing, dark to light. Because this entire piece is yellow, but the light would be hitting more at these tips here. So it could have almost some white. It could have some little bit of white at the edges. Okay, now you're going to be able to see a gradient much better when I go ahead and do these leaves. So I've chosen my bluish green, and I have to go around the center part. I'm going to start with it being very dark and then getting lighter and lighter and lighter. Do it again, dark. It's kind of fun because you could go around, get the darkest part right in there on every single one because it's a repeat design, it's a symmetrical design. So you could get that darkness in there and then work on each one. After you've done that, go from dark to light, dark to light. And already what's pretty about that is it gives it a little three-dimensional look to it, like it's popping out at you. So everybody wants to do that. I'm using horizontal strokes for this. You want it to be smooth. It's better not to see all of those lines, all those strokes, and make it as smooth as you can. Okay, now the next part, when I'm going to make a decision looking at this, is how I'm going to do these sections here. One thing I noticed is I think I would like to add a double line right in here. Now that happens sometimes when you do a drawing and you realize it would look better to add a little detail in, and that way that double line is a place that I could put a color that I would like to put. And I'll show you what I mean. Those separations will make a difference in this design because I've decided I want to put the yellow coming up through here. See that? But it would have to be a double line. Just like so. Okay. And now as I'm continuing on, I'm thinking that it might look nice to have these in yellow as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of curve around that way and put lighter and lighter and lighter, just like so. Go dark and then lighter and lighter and lighter. And you just listen to your instincts, you listen to how you're feeling as you're going along. What do I want to do? It's always good to put a color in more than one place because it brings the whole design together. Now, of course, you're doing the colors that I'm doing right now and you're putting them where I suggest, but you can do this again and do your own design, your own color scheme, or use the same color scheme I'm using, but put it in different places. There's so many things you could do. So I'm just making sure right now, like I said, that all of these shapes that are around the outside are getting that dark to light graduate color right now. I'm not worrying about the black lines. It's okay if you go over them. There's a transparency involved with colored pencil, which is great, so you can still see it through. All right, now I'm going to do something now that's behind these shapes, and I'm thinking that that might actually look nice in this pink color, this hot pink, right back in here. It starts pretty dark, which is good. It's going to pop out, but then I'll make it lighter and lighter. And this takes time. So I know it's going to take you time. If you end up that it takes you longer than it takes me, you could pause the video. You also have the option of slowing the speed down entirely on the video. It's sort of like when people are driving. If one person is following another, the person that's behind sometimes can have a hard time keeping up just because the decisions are being made by the driver and then they have to copy it and it's hard. So don't feel bad if you're having a little bit of a hard time keeping up with this. Just slow down the speed, like I said, or you can pause. Oh, I'm very happy with how this is coming out. I hope you are too. In fact, I might even frame this one because I like it so much. And what that would require would be to trim it down to the size of a frame. And I'd have the option if I want to purchase a mat that I could find in a color that would match one of the designs in here. of the individual elements and use that matte as something that could really enhance it. I hope you're finding it comfortable to work with your colored pencils and get lighter and lighter and lighter as you get more towards the outside of the design and then darker towards the center. And that's actually called a radiant. When you're creating a radiant, it looks like it's radiating from the center. And the sun radiates, so you could see that quite frequently in artwork where there's a sun in it. One particular artist, Peter Max, did a lot of these radiant designs. If you want to look up Peter Max, Petermax, and you could see how he did these beautiful gradients. What he did was he did a lot of outer space kinds of scenes and 60s related drawings. Peter Max is a pop artist. He's a lot of fun to study, and I actually have done that in the past with my students. So if I'm sure some of you were saying, yeah, okay, I know that, I remember that. All right, so this does take quite a bit of time. It's not a crayon, it's a colored pencil, and it's finer. Just make sure that you keep that horizontal movement to gently make the gradient. If something happens like I have right here where it got too dark too quick, I could actually go back and erase that a little bit. It's not as erasable as regular pencil, but there are ways to fix it. I could go over it a little bit with white also. So it's not totally permanent if you make a mistake. You can always reverse it. Okay. So it's getting to the point where we can really see it taking form. And I'm getting a very cheerful, happy, kind of relaxed feeling from this design. I'm thinking about now what to do with this shape here and these and there. If I should leave anything white, sometimes it's good to do that. So that's something to consider. I feel like it's not finished right now, that it shouldn't be left white. I think I'm going to add some more of that green right in here as an extension to the leaf. Again, darker to lighter. And then do the same thing on every section. Remember, this shape has 6, does it have 6 or 8? No, it has 8 sections, actually. The shape has 8 sections. So we're actually repeating it 8 times. That's why it's taking so long as well. But hopefully you have some free time today to do this and you're enjoying it. Okay. So again, I'm going from this point here, dark, to lighter towards the outside. And I did it from 100% to about 20%. This one I didn't bring to 0. But I'm having it nice and dark in here. And you could turn your design to make it easy to color. And as I'm doing it, I'm thinking about if I want to leave these little dots white, if I want to leave these white, or if I want to introduce a new color. And so you could see I do have that new color introduced. I didn't use the purple yet. And I think about the paper as a color, the white of the paper. You can also do these on colored paper. That's kind of a fun experience. And then that color shows through. But I'm really thinking about now if I want to make these yellow or if I want to add, just leave it white. I think I am going to add some yellow in there. I thought it out and I feel like it'll look more finished because it is going to have these little spots right in here that I'm going to most likely leave white. Again, very dark to lighter. Here we go. Trying to smooth it out. All right, so back to the yellow. Yes, I'm going to do this in yellow, same. That really worked out well. Now the question about these, they look like little leaves. Maybe I'll use this greenish, the lighter green. Oh yes, that looks pretty. I'll make it dark this way to light, so darker in the middle to lighter. Very nice. So now this is the yellowish green, not the bluish green. And in the center here, I'm going to add some of that. No, actually, I don't think that's enough contrast. I'm changing my mind. I'm going to use the purple here. That works out well. So you want to think about how dark something is. I'm actually putting it in full force right there. Now, is there anything else that I might want to put the purple in another place? I'm deciding right now. I think in these it might look nice. Because again, you want some balance. And since I did those circles, I'll go around these. Just going around the shape with the purple. I'm not doing the little teeny circles that we had in there with the purple. Those are white right now. But it kind of needs that shape to be reinforced there. Also, I'm thinking about putting some pink in the middle here. I think that would look nice. And I'm just doing about a 70% of that pink. I'm going to leave this little white dot in the middle. I'm going to leave these with the white. I think it makes it sparkle. So that's it. That's the finished design. I hope you had fun doing it. Take care.